Aloha and welcome back to the Kupuna Connections TV series. And I'm Colin Hayashida, the co-host for the program. And today we're very happy to share with you some information with regards to Meals on Wheels program. And before we get started, however, let me ask everyone who's participating with us today to share a little bit about themselves. So starting out with my co-host, Tony.
Hi, I'm Tony Hathaway, and I'm a licensed social worker, and I'm the education coordinator for the Kupuna Education Center.
Lenny?
Hi, my name is Lenny Fabro. I'm the director of Lanakila Meals on Wheels.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is Randy Jung, and I am the volunteer coordinator for Lanakila Pacific and the Lanakila Meals on Wheels program.
Great, great. So we've got two people from the Lanakila Meals on Wheels program to share some information with regards to Meals on Wheels and what this is all about. Let's start off with some broad questions about, what is home delivered meals all about, and who does this in Hawaii, and why is this an important service? Lenny, would you like to share some thoughts on that?
Let me tell you a little bit about Lanakila Meals on Wheels, first of all. Lanakila Meals on Wheels, we're the only island-wide delivery service for seniors. We deliver island-wide. We deliver over 1,700 meals a day to seniors with a network of almost 100 delivery routes. And we couldn't do it, of course, with our help of our 200 volunteers.
Now, are you folks the only Meals on Wheels program in Hawaii?
No, there's another Meals on Wheels program. It's Hawaii Meals on Wheels.
And how do you differ?
They deliver hot meals.
Okay.
What we do is we deliver hot meals as well as frozen meals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, frozen meals allow you to provide services for the entire week, perhaps. Huh?
Yes. Every day of the week, from Monday through Saturday, we break up the areas of the island. Mm-hmm. And on certain days, we deliver in Waianae. Some days we deliver in Waimanalo. The other day we deliver in Kaneohe. And what we do is we pack these meals in fives. And the volunteers deliver probably anywhere from 10 to 15 homes a day.
Now, is this an important service? I mean, are more and more people requiring this kind of service?
Yes.
What's happening?
Every day we get calls for the need for meals, and the need is growing constantly, and it's been difficult for us to keep up, and it all depends on our funding. We need funding to keep this program going.
Well, why do we have Meals on Wheels for seniors?
Well, a lot of these seniors really can't help themselves at home. Mm-hmm. Meaning, some of them can't cook. Mm-hmm. They are disabled. They're unable to heat their meals. Some of them. So that's where our hot meal service comes in. And if they are able to heat their meals or whatever, that's where our frozen meal service comes in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this really helps them to stay at home, to age in place, as we call it now.
Yes.
It's to provide the meals for them.
Mm-hmm.
And how about the nutrition? Do you have certain nutrition requirements?
Yes, our meals, we require 1/3 RDA. Mm-hmm. And we service just one meal a day for the seniors. So we don't provide the 3 meals, but just the 1 meal a day.
Okay. How about, can you accommodate different diets?
Well, right now we do accommodate some diets. Some seniors they're not able to intake milk or dairy products, so we try to accommodate them that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how about local foods? Is it?
Oh yes, yeah. Our chef and our kitchen, they put together a great menu, and it's diverse, and chicken, fish, and I think we had some koi pig at one time, but yeah, it's a wide variety of different foods.
Okay, great.
So tell us a little bit more about the Lanakila Meals on Wheels program in terms of what this is all about. What do you folks?
Well, we service the senior community, and without the help of our volunteers is a really big part of our service. And you want to talk a little bit about our volunteers?
Right. Well, as Lenny mentioned a little while ago, we absolutely see the need out there. There always has been a need, and funding is a very important part of it, but our volunteers are so much more a part of it because they are our eyes and ears, because as administrative staff we take care of all of the back end work, but our volunteers are the ones that actually go out to the seniors and knock on the door and make sure that that meal gets into the refrigerator or freezer or wherever. And
So actually, it's not just the meal, it's also the volunteer kind of providing a check on the person,
Yes.
too.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's great.
We like to say that Meals on Wheels, Lanakila Meals on Wheels, is so much more than just a meal. And actually, it's kind of built into our name because we call ourselves Lanakila Meals on Wheels and more. Because as the need grows, we're also seeing that seniors, they need more than just that nutritious meal. They need a friend. They need somebody to talk to. They need the nutrition education that we also provide. And we try to meet as many of those needs as possible through the help of our volunteers.
Right. And do you do group dining too? Do you provide meals in that way?
Yes, besides the home delivery meals, we have 17 group dining sites throughout the island, from Waianae to Waimanalo and Ha'ula, Kapi'olani, and there's a few of them in town.
So for those that are able to get out of the home, they have that option to
Right.
get a meal through one of the group dining
Group dining
sites.
sites, yeah. We
too.
provide activities and a meal. And the activities include do field trips, they have crafts, they do games and, outdoor activities.
Field trips too.
Yes, field
So
trips.
these are little clubs then.
Yeah, it's nice. It's real nice.
Absolutely. It's like a social club.
Yeah.
For example, our Waianae Kupuna Wellness Center, that group dining site, they go at least 2 times a year on that trolley ride, the train ride that goes through Waianae
Yes.
and the West Coast side. And I mean, so many of us I'm local, I was born and raised here, but I've seen it go by. I've never been on it. But our seniors are so fortunate with the help of our awesome coordinators that are at each of these sites and the volunteers who also help to plan those activities to go on these exciting excursions.
Are we going to view some photos?
Yeah, I think we have
Okay.
some photos here that we can see that Lanakila Meals on Wheels provided us with. So maybe you guys can share with us what we're looking at here.
Okay. Well, this right here is our packaged meal. This is how it's delivered to the senior. It's sealed, packaged, and delivered.
Okay.
Yep.
And this is one of our wonderful volunteers with one of our seniors. His name is Fred, and he's been with our program for many years. And this is probably the way that you'll see him if you're the volunteer that delivers to him. He'll be waiting on his steps, kind of, waiting for his meal and waiting to talk story with you.
So it's a big time for them then.
Yes, it is.
Great.
This right here is one of our group dining site areas.
I see.
Yeah. So you can see they're enjoying their meals. What's this? This is one of the seniors at home. I guess the volunteer
Okay.
bringing them their meals.
Okay. The last one we have here.
Yeah, this is one of our.
Another senior that's on our program. Volunteers will go and talk story with her, and she likes taking pictures. And this is one of her more serious shots.
Yeah.
But she's very lively. Loves to tell stories about her grandchildren and about what she did that week and what she has planned for the rest of the week. And all of our seniors are very lively. Some of them will have days where they're a little bit more shy and they'll just peek the door open and, very nicely thank you for that meal and then close that door. But on other days, they're just so welcoming and inviting, and they just want to show you everything in their house. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you get to know them pretty well, it sounds like.
Yes. Our volunteers definitely develop very deep relationships with the seniors, and sometimes to the point where you wish you could go and see them every day. But of course, we all have our other things that we do, and just that one time a week, or one time a week that you go to see the seniors, more than enough for our volunteers and for our seniors.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to share a story of how attached the volunteers have become with the seniors, and I think Randy talked about this. There's two volunteers that they're volunteering in, I guess, in Kahuku, right? And they live in Kaneohe, and they were delivering meals in the Kahalu area and Koka area, but we found a route for them in Kaneohe, and it's closer to their home and everything, but they didn't want to leave. They were so attached to the seniors that they were delivering for, 3 years or so, and they refused to. No, this is fine. I'll go to Kahuku and Kahava and Kahalu and
So despite the distance.
Yes.
And it's funny because when we first brought them into the volunteer program, they said we specifically want to deliver in Kaneohe. And at that time we didn't have anything open there, so we said, okay, is it okay if we start you here and then move you back? And at first they were a little bit hesitant, but we talked to them and they accepted. And then once we finally did find a place for them back closer to their home, that was the reaction that we got. They said, "Don't you dare try to take me off of my route."
So this is not just for seniors getting food, but it's for the volunteers too, and also some of that social interaction.
Right.
And then checking up, like you say,
up
some
on
of
them.
these benefits.
Exactly.
Yeah? How about for the families? Are the families involved, or do they share any stories or anything to you?
Well, yeah, the benefit to the families for a program is that we help to provide not only meals, but again, someone to talk to. The volunteers go in there, go to the home and talk story with them or whatever. And so the families feel real secure that they have somebody they can trust, and they can help take care of their their mom and dad or aunties or uncles or whatever. Yeah. And also the meals also help in a way of caregiver burnout. They're there providing and working and coming home and cooking the meals and whatever. We provide another outlet for them.
I see.
Yeah.
Any stories or recollections of stories where maybe the volunteer came over and actually provided help because of some kind of a problem that they had?
Several.
Anything you could share with that?
Yeah, sure. Well, when they're brought into the volunteer program, through orientation, we tell them, the fact of the matter is that we're working with seniors, and many of them, the reason why they can't get out and get the food is because they are frail, or for one reason or another, it's not so easy for them to get out of the house. And so along with that, it's easy to say that there might be emergency situations, and we tell them that. And so they already know, they're aware that it might happen. And so, for example, a volunteer went to the senior's apartment, and it was one of these apartments where you have to buzz in before you can get up to the apartment. Well, it just so happens that she had been coming and going, every week. So people started recognizing her. And so somebody let her in as they were going upstairs, because she had become a friend at that point. And even the security guard kind of waved her in and said, "Hey, what's up?" So she went up into the apartment building, and she kind of knocked on the door. Nobody came, which was unusual because this one senior, he was very prompt, and he was one of those seniors that would be waiting for her to come with his meal. And she thought, that's strange, and normally if a senior can't be at home to receive their meal, they'll call us ahead of time. So, we'll have marked that on the route sheet for the volunteer to know. But there was no notice or anything like that. So she thought, that's really strange. So she continued knocking. She kind of tried jiggling the doorknob, and sure enough, it was open. And mind you, at that time, like I said, she had already developed a friendship with the senior, so she knew him very well. So she kind of jiggled the door, and it opened. So she kind of peeked in, and some things didn't seem right, is what she said. Something just didn't seem right. So she kind of peeked in, he wasn't there, but there was something in the room that she just, like the door was cracked open and something moved her, like I need to go in there and see what's going on. She did, and thank goodness she did, because when she got there, he was unconscious. And she said, well, you know, my daughter is a nurse, so I kind of knew the signs to look for, and, you know, as soon as I saw him, I knew that something was wrong and that I needed to call 911. So right then and there, she called 911, and then she called us right after and told us what was going on. We sent one of our staff members to go out and relieve her of the rest of her route, and she stayed with him until the emergency responders got there, and she was able to file a report, and then that was that. And he was taken to the emergency room, and he's all better. He's back on our route.
Wow, wow, what a wonderful story.
It really does become a life and death situation sometimes.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful.
So you provide some training for your volunteers then?
Well, we give them the training up to the extent of this is what to look for, and then if they need some services after that, if they found it to be a little bit traumatizing or they need to talk to somebody, we have organizations that we work with to kind of provide that counseling for our volunteers.
Well, how do you become a volunteer, and what's involved in being a volunteer?
Well, anybody can be a volunteer, and we always need volunteers. As Lenny mentioned, the need for the meals to get out there is huge. It's great, and we wouldn't be able to get the meals out there if it wasn't for our volunteers. And so, with the growing need of food, there's also going to be a growing need for volunteers. Basically, if you have an interest, go to our website, www.lanakilapacific.org, and all the information that you could possibly want about our organization is on that website. There's a volunteer page there. You can fill out an online application, or you can also download one. So if you don't want to fill it out right then and there on your computer, you can download it for when you're comfortable to do that. Or you could just give us a call at the office. Our number is 531-0555.
One more time.
The number is 531-0555, and just say, hey, I'm interested in volunteering, who do I need to talk to? And then they'll probably forward that call to either Tiffany or myself, and then we'll walk you through the process.
I'm sorry, I'd like to add another thing to that. Besides the volunteer drivers, we also have volunteer that come in and pack the meals. So we have volunteers, a bunch of volunteers. They come in the morning, they pack all the fruits, the milk, and we have I don't know if they showed a bag, but you know, put it all in a bag for servicing that. And in the afternoons we do all the frozen meals. We have volunteers that also come in and also pack those meals for us.
I see. So if you don't want to drive, or if you can't drive, you could still use that person as a volunteer to do the packing.
Yes. And even beyond that, we need volunteers at our Kupuna wellness centers, the group dining sites, because some of those sites get very big. The number of seniors that attend, it becomes quite large, and the one coordinator, sometimes it becomes overwhelming for him or her to oversee all of that. So we like to have volunteers there too. And then along with our and more services, we have programs. For example, one that I can mention off the top of my head is called Care Calls, where you can make, at least once a week telephone calls to seniors who have said, yes, I want somebody to call me so I can talk story to them. So we have the Care Calls program. So there are so many different ways to get involved. If you're so moved to help, we can find somewhere that you can help.
For those of you I just started watching recently in this program, this is the Kupuna Connections TV series, and we're talking to our guests, Randy Jung and Lenny Febro, with regards to the Lanakila Meals on Wheels program. Go ahead.
I think we have a picture of a volunteer.
We have one picture of
show.
a volunteer. We've had several, of course, but here's one of the pictures that you shared with us, yeah?
So
I was wondering what is involved if you actually volunteer to deliver the meals. What kind of a time commitment, or how often you do it? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, our delivery service time is between 10 and 2 every Monday through Saturdays. And so the typical day of a volunteer, they'll come in, a volunteer driver, they'll probably come in anywhere between 9 and 9:30, check their meals, it's already packed, check picking up their route sheets, making sure that if there's any additional seniors that were added onto the route, going through the route sheets, and if they got any questions as far as if they want a map or if they're not sure where this is or whatever, then we go there and we put together a map for them and they're on their way. We also provide them with a bag to put the meals in along with the fruits and the milk to
keep it insulated.
keep it together, yes.
So normally for a home delivery volunteer, it takes no longer than 2 hours to complete your route, and 2 hours is on the long end.
I see.
And so maybe the first few times that you come onto the program as a volunteer, it might take you maybe 2.5 hours because you have to get the feel of the area you're delivering to and the different turns and one-way streets and whatnot. But once you get the hang of it, I want to say you could probably cut it down to an hour or so, and then you come back to drop off your bags if that's what you've planned with us, and then you're on your way.
Yeah. We also have volunteers that shuttle meals to different areas of the island because, again, we service the Waianae Coast, we service down at in Kaneohe. So instead of the volunteers coming from, let's say, Kaneohe all the way down to our
I was kind of wondering about that, so that's how you do it.
Yeah, so they today's Wednesday, so they come in and we do it every some other days too, but Wednesday is usually our biggest day. And so we have a volunteer that comes in with a truck, loads up all these bags, and in the Kaneohe area we probably have Kaneohe, Kailua, Lanikai, Waimanalo. We're talking about maybe 13, 14 routes. So he goes over there, he meets the volunteers over there.
One location.
One location, meets the volunteers over there, and they start separating the bags by routes.
Gee, for these volunteers today to provide this kind of service, gasoline prices must be a considerable concern, must
Yes.
Oh,
you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's in the news, and we experience it where we're trying not to drive so much, and we don't always fill our tank. We put $20 here, $20 there. But yes, that is a concern that we feel, we empathize with our volunteers. And although it's not a full reimbursement, we have a mileage reimbursement program which meets the federal requirement. So I believe right now it's either 50 or 51 cents per mile that you get back. And it sounds small, it sounds manini, but really, I mean, speaking from experience, as staff members, we actually go out and deliver too. But so it does add up. And money is money, right? So every little bit counts. And you submit those reports to us at the end of every month. And then you can either, so most of our volunteers, they submit those reports to us at the end of every month, and then a few weeks later, they'll get a check from us. But other volunteers choose to collect those mileage forms, and then they'll submit it to us at the end of the year so that they can get a letter for their taxes.
I see.
So, however and then there are volunteers who say, you know what, I don't need any of that. This is all a part of my service, and this is what I'm doing. So, no need.
Okay. So you do help out in that respect. So it makes it easier for some of those that are on fixed incomes, perhaps, to still help. Because even for older adults to participate by giving, they get so much in return too. Let's share a little bit about, I think you provided some numbers and website. Let's go over some of those again as far as how can our viewers contact you if they want to get assistance or want to volunteer. What were some of those ways again?
Okay, we're going to keep it really simple because we have so many things to remember these days. So I just have 2 points of reference for you. The first one is our website. We recently did a revision of our website, so it's nice and very easy to use for everybody. That website address is www.lanakilapacific.org. So lanakilapacific.org. And then the telephone number, the main telephone number is 531-0555.
One more time.
531-0555, and you just tell the person that answers the phone either I wanna help, how can I help, or I need meals. And then we'll accordingly route your phone call so that you can get some help.
Or I want to talk to Lenny. Huh?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think the one thing we haven't really covered is how Meals on Wheels are funded and who pays for it. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Currently, less than 60% of our funding come from the government grants, and the other 40% comes from individual and business donors, as well as our social enterprise business, which is our Lanakila Kitchen. And Lanakila Kitchen, like I said, we do catering, and all the proceeds go back into Lanakila Meals on Wheels.
And how about the seniors themselves? Do they pay for the meals, or is there a donation? Or?
We do ask for a small donation, but
Okay.
it's not required that they give.
Okay. So you request a donation,
Oh, yes.
but it doesn't depend. The service doesn't depend on
No.
that. Okay. Great.
Now, you also try to get the legislature involved and the community involved as far as
Yes.
advocacy is concerned too, right?
right.
We have a photo of this, one of these
terrific.
situations where people are going out there and trying to support March for Meals. How about saying it just, well, what can you say about advocacy?
This just happened. There's Lenny, you can see right there in the front with the megaphone in hand and leading the way. This happened this year on March 29th.
Okay.
And it's basically we go out and try to remind our legislators how important it is and how much we care about funding for our seniors, for our kupuna.
Okay, great. Now, we don't have much time left, but I wanted to ask you for one last tip for our viewers.
One last tip is we're always looking for volunteers to help service the elderly community. So, please, again, go to our website, lanakilapacific.org, or call our office at 531-0555.
Okay.
And help us out.
All right, sounds great. Okay, thank you very much, Lenny Fabro and Randy Jung from the Lanakila Meals on Wheels program.
Thank
and
you.
again, this is the Kupuna Connections TV series discussing Lanakila Meals on Wheels. So again, see you again next week at the same time. Aloha.